Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards. In this video, we're going to look at the top 4 MVP candidates in the American League and discuss what's happening with their cards. As I already mentioned, talking about the top 4 in regards to American League performance. We're using WAR as a metric to determine that. I don't think anybody's going to argue with these top 4. The top 4 as of today, which is Sunday, July 21st, is Aaron Judge with 6.6 WAR, then Gunnar Henderson at 6.3, Bobby Witt at 6.2, and Juan Soto at 6. I actually have down here, this is 2023 AL scoreboards. Only 3 players crossed the 6 WAR threshold for the entire season in the American League, and now we have 4 players crossing that threshold, and we've only played about 100 games. So this just goes to show we are seeing something really special. There's a chance all 4 of these players have 8 to 10 WAR. So who's going to win MVP? Whoever stays healthy. I think Judge honestly right now is a big lead, but we'll see. Either way, I don't want to discuss too much about are their cards undervalued, because all of them have their own argument. I more so want to look at their cards and see if they're going up or if they're going down and why. The very first thing I want to do is talk about Judge. I actually created all of this slideshow earlier this week. In the last 3 games, they've all been really good. And so these stats may be slightly old. That's why I showed the fan graph information prior. But we can see Aaron Judge right now, he has at least 35 home runs because he had one today. Has an OPS of 1.1, an OPS plus of 207, and we are seeing a peak we have not really seen since probably Barry Bonds. I know it sounds dramatic for an offensive peak. Mike Trout did not even do this, but Mike Trout, obviously, he put up big WAR seasons, but Judge offensively is doing some crazy stuff. So we're going to be seeing a very strong peak for Judge. He is 32 years old, only 47.7 WAR. I think eventually he's going to get into the 60 to 70 mark. I think it'll be hard unless he has a Barry Bonds-like finish to his career, which I don't know if he can use the same stuff Bonds did. But either way, I don't think we're going to see 100 WAR in his future, and that's okay. His peak is really good. To prove this point further, since 1960, Aaron Judge is tied with Mike Trout for second in WRC plus in regards to offensive production. This is like OPS plus, but it's actually looking at weighted runs created plus, which takes into consideration era, ballpark factors, all of that good stuff. And we can see he's basically tied for second only behind Bonds in regards to his WRC plus. He has not declined yet. Your decline years lower this, but basically second in the last, how many years is this? 40 plus 24, so 64 years. Pretty impressive. I also want to note Juan Soto is 8th currently, and he is actually hitting his prime at age 25. We'll talk about him in a moment. But what's happening with Aaron Judge cards? That's what we want to know. How are his cards moving since the beginning of the season? This is from the last 6 months heading back until February. So we can see his PSA 10 Bowman Chrome autograph is actually up 23%. It started at $2,300. I remember people were saying his cards were very expensive at that time, and we all hoped he could do this again, but a lot of people didn't expect him to due to his age and also because last year wasn't quite as good as 2 years ago. But we can see he is up quite a bit. He even peaked out around $3,400 right here before dropping back down below $3,000 with the lower sell recently. So pretty impressive. His blue Bowman Chrome autograph is up 44% from 8,000, actually sub 8,000, 7,700, up above $11,000. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see one higher eventually. I think there is one on eBay for sale right now, so we'll see what that goes for. It's not an auction, it's best offer, but either way, he is up 44% on this particular card. Then we can look at his 2013 Bowman Chrome autograph out of 35. Right here, what we're actually going to be seeing is this is from April. So basically, right when the season started at 7,000. The last 2 sales are both above 12, so almost doubled, about another 40 to 50% increase, or pretty close to it, maybe 35 to 45%. And then overall, Aaron Judge as a player, according to Market Movers, with all the cards that they currently have, a price change up 18% this season. And so I think as his MVP gets more and more baked in, he doesn't have the big lead like we were hoping. That's because there's 3 other players with 6+ WAR. And as long as he stays healthy, this could even go up even more. I remember 3 years ago at the National, when he won the MVP, it was expensive and he was really hot. And we might be seeing that again. Next up, Gunnar Henderson. I like Gunnar Henderson, only 23 years old, 13.6 career B WAR, 11.8 career F WAR. He has a 175 OPS plus, career 143 OPS plus. He averages 7.8 WAR for every 162 games played. Is that good? You might not know because you don't look at Baseball Reference all the time like a nerd like I do. Yes, that's very good. That's a very good number. The average Hall of Famer at shortstop averages 4.9 to put it into perspective. And this is because he's actually good offensively, defensively, and on the base paths, which is rare for a shortstop. And we're seeing that a lot of really good shortstops, talking about Bobby Witt and probably the next player, maybe 2 players from now. But either way, 28 home runs, on pace probably to have around 40 as a shortstop, probably 40-30 season, which is just nuts. And that's where he's at with his stats. I do want to show some Baseball Savant percentile rankings because it's beautiful with all the red for a 23-year-old, which is crazy. 23, 97th percentile, so better than 97% of the league offensively, 85th percentile on the base paths, and 86th percentile on defense. Everybody was worried he'd be moving off of the position, going to third base, but he's proven he's staying, which is good. Let's talk about his cards. Here is a blue refractor Topps Chrome autograph PSA 10. You might wonder, why didn't I use Bowman Chrome autographs? If I didn't, it's most likely because there wasn't enough sales data for like the golds or the blues or those things. So I resorted to like good rookie autographs. So that's what you're going to be seeing. And overall, I will show how he's doing as a whole. So that way you don't think I'm cherry picking. But either way, with this particular card, we can see he is up $771, 62% change from the beginning of the year. He's really moved up because he was young, had a lot of cards out there, really hyped, but there was some concern with him. But now you can see with the trajectory he's on from $900 to about $1,800. This is his Bowman Chrome autograph PSA 10. The base went from about $500 all the way up to $1.1 thousand, a change of 109%. So if you stocked up on a couple of those, you're feeling good. A change of $572. And here is his gold Bowman Chrome autograph. That is going to be this blue right here. The yellow is going to be the blue refractor. And the one right here was the PSA 10 we just looked at. So we can even see the gold Bowman Chrome autograph. It went from under 7.5 to over 10 and just dropped right below 10. That's an increase of 33%. And we can see with his blue Bowman Chrome autograph, we saw a huge increase since February, starting right around 2.5 thousand. Now we're closing in on 5,000, up 122%. So Gunnar Cards overall up 32% on the year, where a lot of players aren't quite peaking. Gunnar Henderson is definitely peaking. Let's talk about Juan Soto, because you might think, man, his cards have to be going nuts. What if I told you they're not? And we'll talk about that and explain why that might be. F-WAR, which is Fangraphs WAR, likes him more than Baseball Reference WAR because outs above average likes him more than Baseball Reference defensive metrics, which is DRS, defensive runs saved, which primarily is the calculation. Either way, still good, Baseball Reference, but Fangraphs, he is above 6. Baseball Reference, I don't know now, but probably above 5.7 after the last few games. But if we go look at his stats, lead the league in walks, which is, I know people say, oh, it's just walks. He's doing that in front of Aaron Judge, which is why he has so many RBI, because no one on the Yankees is getting on base basically besides Soto. That's why he has 78 runs in 95 games. Like, that's just how it is. That's why he's so valuable. Plus, it's not like he's a slouch, hitting 23 home runs at age 25. That's the crazy thing. Only 25 years old, having a career year, which is great. Won't win MVP this year, I'm guessing, behind the other 3 players ahead of him. But either way, he's still doing good. I want to show the same thing I showed for Aaron Judge. He actually is 8th in regards to OPS, well, WRC plus. They're kind of similar, calculated slightly differently. But Juan Soto is 8th behind Frank Robinson, Mark McGwire, Jordan Alvarez, Mickey Mantle, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Barry Bonds, ahead of Frank Thomas, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Manny Ramirez, Shohei Ohtani, and Jeff Bagwell, and Dick Allen. I forgot Dick Allen, forgive me. So either way, really impressive offensive player. 25, hasn't hit his prime yet. Aaron Judge did not debut till age 24, to give you reference on where Juan Soto is. Okay, so here's his Baseball Savant. Offensively, 100th percentile, but we do hear all the time how he's bad defensively. This year, he's turning it around. He's 82nd percentile in regards to defense. That's outs above average, which is why he's ranking so well on Fangraphs WAR. And I do want to show you, he is averaging 6.3 WAR for every 162 games played, but look at his comps the last few years. Tony Conigliaro was great. You should look him up if you don't know who he was before he got hit in the face and left Major League Baseball. Frank Robinson, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper. Most comparable hitters through age 24, Bryce Harper, Frank Robinson, Andrew Jones, Giancarlo Stanton, Mike Trout, Ken Griffey Jr. You get the idea. He's in rare air, which is great to see. Defense quickly, he's above Acuna. I just wanted to compare him versus Acuna because Acuna doesn't get hit quite as hard defensively in regards to like the public perception of him. This is for their career. Juan Soto has 4 outs above average. Acuna has 3. And then we can look at D-WAR for Fangraphs. Soto has negative 4.7. Acuna has negative 1.6. So it's really not that bad, and I just wanted to show that. Talk about his cards now. His PSA 10 Bowman Chrome Autograph Refractor, it is up 76%. And that is going from, where did it start? It basically started at 2.5 and now it's upwards of about 5 or so. So up 76%, up $2.25 thousand, which is great, but that is not the case for all of his cards. Here is his BGS 9.5 Bowman Chrome Autograph. It is down $204 since the beginning of the season because it's high pop and there's not as many people going after them for whatever reason. And so we saw with Gunnar, it was up a ton. Soto and a BGS 9.5 is down. And so down 14.2%. There weren't enough PSA 10 sales that I wanted to show. So maybe this is a BGS 9.5 versus a PSA 10 thing potentially. But either way, he is down. If you bought this card in February, you're feeling good about yourself for the price you paid, you have lost money, which is kind of crazy to think about. Here is his Gatorade bath. I have one right there. I was one of these data points. I was the one in June. I paid $3.5 thousand for it. And that's where it's been. It started at $3.5 thousand. In the last comp, not mine, a different one sold for $3.5 thousand. Actually, I was right here. This one's me. And so you can see this one's completely flat over the last 6 months, 7 months. And this is a really important card for Juan Soto. And here is his PSA 10 Topps Chrome update. I included this one because a lot of people probably have this card that are watching this video. He is down 13% on this card. And again, that's because people are probably moving to more rare cards. Overall, Juan Soto is down 8% since the beginning of this season, which is kind of crazy. Volume is up a ton, more are selling. And this may be because Market Movers has a lot more of his lower end cards compared to other players, which is dragging it down. Yes, the high end is generally up, but a lot of cards are flat or slightly declining. And that could just be because there was so much hype heading into the Yankees into this season. And who knows what'll happen. But this is kind of what can happen for these players who are very hyped up, having an MVP caliber year, but he's not the front runner like these other guys, and so he's faded a little bit. So interesting. Last player, Bobby Witt, I'll be quick. He is doing great. He is 24, so a year older than Gunnar. 5.6 B WAR, 6 F WAR, probably higher based off of how he's played the last few games as well. And I don't want to go too much into stats here, but he has a 122 OPS plus for the last 3 years, not quite as good as where Gunnar was, but according to Fangraphs, he has 14.3 career F WAR, which is great. Great defensive player. Really turned it around. He was a bad defender, and now he's a plus defender, which is impressive. Here is Bobby Witt Jr.'s Baseball Savant page. It is a thing of beauty in regards to batting run value, base running value, fielding run value, one of the best fielders in all of Major League Baseball, literally the fastest player in Major League Baseball, and one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball. He's also improved his on-base percentage every single year. Now he's walking quite a bit more. I know 29 walks isn't a ton, but compared to 40 and 30, he's already there through 98 games, which is impressive. Played every game this year. He's been extremely valuable. And in regards to outs above average, I just want to show so far this year, he is second or third, tied for second behind Michael Ciani, Marcus Semien so far this year in all of Major League Baseball. His cards are up for good reason because of all the stuff I just said. This is his Bowman Chromatograph PSA 10 Refractor from $1.4 to $2.1 thousand, up $525, which is a 33% change. Here is his PSA 10 base. This one is up 18 to 20%, and this one's at $820, started around like $550, $600, which is good to see. Here is his Topps Update short print. I picked this one because it's a good image. There's quite a few sales. This one's even up $89, which is a 38% change. And here is his PSA 10 Sapphire Edition base card from Topps Chrome Update. This one is also up 40%. Overall, here's actually a short print from Series 2. I also included a lot of Bobby Witt cards, up 14%. So overall, up 20.5%. Bobby Witt, I think there probably is still room for growth in regards to his cards. He's expensive to get to the really good stuff, but there's a lot of great options for him and Gunnar Henderson that you can look at. Soto, it's a little bit tougher because he has fewer cards. Judge is just expensive all around. But those players' cards are either up or down. I wanted to talk about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video.